One of the big talking points from last weekend's race at Imola was the huge crash involving George Russell and Valtteri Bottas. It caused the whole race to be red flagged, but the whole situation has bigger implications. In part 1 of our Imola debrief, we'll be looking at some of the fallout from the incident which saw both drivers retire. If you want to know when part 2 is dropping, make sure you subscribe to the GP Blog YouTube channel and turn on notifications. That way you'll know as soon as we release it. Let's get into the video. So if somehow you don't know what happened, here's a rundown. Williams were having a good weekend and were targeting their first point since Robert Kubica in 2019. However, Valtteri Bottas was having an absolute nightmare. Despite topping FP1 and FP2, the Finn struggled in qualifying and started the race all the way down in 8th. The Mercedes vehicle has often struggled to fight through the field when faced with lots of vehicles, and Bottas in particular was struggling with this, along with the tough conditions. With Bottas struggling to warm up his tyres after pitting, Russell sensed an opportunity and tried to overtake the Finn using DRS into the Tamburello chicane. Bottas defended the place by making the slightest movement to his right, forcing the Brit onto the damp part of the track, and that was enough to send Russell spinning into Bottas, causing a huge crash with debris all over the track. Thankfully, the halo once again did its job, and both drivers walked away relatively unharmed. However, the fallout from the event has been huge. Let's start with the immediate aftermath. Both drivers pointed fingers at each other, quite literally, and Russell even gave Bottas a slap on the helmet as they walked away. The radio messages weren't too complimentary either. The stewards decided no one was really at fault, which leaves people picking sides. In interviews they continued to blame each other, and when Mercedes and Toto Wolff had their say, they sat on the fence, but more on Bottas' side. They said Bottas shouldn't have been back there in the first place, but Russell really should have been aware of who he was racing. Now since then, Russell has apologised for his reaction, which although in the heat of the moment, is arguably the most intense we've ever seen him. He knew this was a huge chance for Williams to score some points, which has been a long time coming. Lewis Hamilton commented on Russell's Instagram post with some words of encouragement, which is probably a good sign of how highly Mercedes and Hamilton rate him, and we know how much his future will affect Russell's. Speaking to Sky Sports after the race, Wolff joked, "I said if he does a good job he can be in Mercedes, if not we are doing the Renault Clio Cup," which prompted a humorous reply from Renault, and it looks like it may have eased the tensions just a little, but Wolff on the whole was rather unhappy, and who can blame him? This was so much more of an issue because of Russell's ties with Mercedes. The pair were teammates just last year in Sakir. It's not a good look for Bottas, battling Williams, who are probably the second slowest car on the grid at the moment, but at the same time, Russell did himself no favours with his reaction, and he won't have gone down well at Mercedes. It remains to be seen whether this has long-term implications, but on the whole, it has been a saga both drivers will want to forget in a hurry. What did you make of the whole situation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you'll know when we release part 2 of our Imola debrief, which will be all about Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton's battle at the top. But from me, I'll catch you next time.